Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BnA Sports Talk. Now, with the MLB season just 2 weeks away, I decided before I make my MLB standings predictions, I'm going to make some bold predictions so you can kind of feel how I'm feeling. And plus, I still need to work on the exact standings predictions. I want it to be a good video. I want it to be informed, not just kind of, I kind of know what this team did in the offseason. I want to do some research to give myself a refresher on what exactly happened and be able to communicate those points with you, because in years past I've just been like Google search for like 2 minutes, but I want to put in good effort. Anyway, so we're gonna have some 7 bold predictions today for the MLB season. I like the number 7 because I don't know, that's the number I usually just use. So we're gonna do 7 bold predictions in 2019 MLB season. For 2018, I was pretty close for a lot of them. Luis Severino, I said him and some other player in the Mets would win the Cy Young. I said just the Cy Youngs will go from both teams in New York, and I was almost right about that. About midway through the season, both of them were pretty much favored, and I think Jacob deGrom did end up winning the NL Cy Young, but I forget. Anyway, so let's move on to this year, because this year is more important. So number 1, the Cubs will not make the playoffs this year, and I'm going to go even deeper. The Cubs will finish 4th in the division this year. Yes, that's my bold prediction. The Cubs, I'm not buying them this year. They haven't really made a lot of moves. Besides, they got my favorite player, Torreyes. I mean, it's been a tough year as a New York fan, because we got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. We got rid of Matt Zuccarello. We got rid of Ronald Torreyes. We got rid of Odell Beckham. And Ellsbury is still here. So, I mean, it's just been a horrible, horrible time to be alive. Anyway, getting back to the point of the video, I think the Cubs are getting worse. They didn't add anybody really in the offseason. And it feels like they haven't done much. And this is going to be the year for Joe Madden. It's going to be his make or break season. My next bold prediction is that the Cincinnati Reds will make the playoffs this year. They will be in the wild card game. I'm not picking them to win the division. And the thing about baseball is kind of hard for stories like the Athletics to happen, because usually the better team wins, and it's rare that, we didn't expect this team to play well. It happens on rare occasions. In the NFL, there's always teams that are like, we didn't expect that. A player gets hot. But for baseball, it's such a long season. But I think the Cincinnati Reds, with their offseason acquisition, they still have Matt Harvey. They still have Yasiel Puig. They got Yasiel Puig. And they made some interesting moves. And plus, Joey Votto, he's always been really underrated. He's led the league in walks so many years. He's led the league in OPS. He has high average. Not really high average, but he's kind of been under the radar. And I think his veteran leadership will lead the Reds to be in the wild card game this year. That means that the one team in the NL East is going to be in the wild card, which I wouldn't think that's going to be a division where it's going to be a shootout. There's so many powerhouses, but I honestly think that no team, is this another bold prediction? I don't know, but no team will eclipse 90 wins in that division, and every single team besides the Marlins will have more than 80 wins, so it's going to be between 80 and 90, and that division is going to be so tight. It's going to be so interesting going into like the last weeks of the season, because none of them are like amazing teams, but they're so tight. Like, you can make an argument for any of the teams, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Okay, so the 4th bold prediction, I think an opener will win the Cy Young Award in either league. I'm not going to say both. I'm going to say in one of the leagues, the Cy Young is going to be known as an opener and not a starting pitcher. Why I think this is bold, no relief pitcher has won the Cy Young. Mariano Rivera never won the Cy Young Award in all of his great years that he had. The last time it happened was 2003, and there have only been a handful of pitchers to ever do it. I think before that it was like 1979, but it's really, really rare. But why I think it's going to happen is if there is a pitcher that doesn't dominate the league, the MLB is going to want to stress, hey, this is a changing league, and we're kind of for it. We're not for the one batter, but if you want to start a pitcher for 3 innings and do that strategy, it's a new strategy, kind of like how shifting was. It's bringing a new dynamic into the game, something that's not boring, and that's why people love baseball. It's because different teams have different strategies. If every team implements the same strategy, like the Yankees, where they just stocked up on home run hitters. It would be boring. Remember the Kansas City Royals? I think that was really good for baseball. Kind of how a small homegrown team was kind of playing, just bunt and steal, the kind of small ball. That's the word. It's great. I think it's great for the game, and MLB has to control it a little bit with one batting or one pitcher per batter, but other than that, I think it's perfectly fine. My next bold prediction is that the Dodgers will not win the NL West. The Padres are going to win the NL West. So let's do process by elimination. So Arizona Diamondbacks, they're getting rid of everybody. I think they're going to finish last place. Paul Goldschmidt's out. Zach Greinke is getting really old. JD Martinez left last year. AJ Pollock, I think he's still on the team. But still, I think the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be the worst team in this division. Then you have the Rockies, who got rid of some key players, but they still have Nolan Arenado. They could make things interesting, but I still question their starting pitching. They're my second favorite team. They've always been my backup team. I love Todd Helton and all those players. Back in the day, Troy Tulowitzki, I loved him until he went to the Blue Jays, and I started to hate him. Now the Yankees have him. Okay, I need to focus back on the topic of the video. Anyway, the San Francisco Giants, I don't think they're going to play well this year. They're kind of looking for Bryce Harper, but that just didn't fit with the stadium and whole different things. They didn't really make that many moves in the offseason that are of note. They got rid of Andrew McCutchen. Evan Longoria is aging. Buster Posey was injured. It's a mess in San Francisco, but it's an odd year, so maybe that they're gonna have some magic in them. I think odd years they play really well. I forget what the exact thing was. So, anyways, I think the Padres are gonna win the division. The Dodgers aren't gonna win because they got rid of Yasiel Puig, and they haven't really popped recently. Plus, Clayton Kershaw is getting really old, so that's another pitcher you can't rely on as much. They've been to the last 2 World Series, and I think they're due for a pullback. They're kind of exceeding, not expectation, they're expected to win the World Series, but they're making it twice in a row. It's hard for them to make it 3 times in a row. I don't think it'll happen. The Padres, I don't think Manny Machado is going to make a big difference, but I do think that Manny Machado and Franco Tatis Jr., and you have all this young core. When was the last time the Padres overperformed? That's why this is a bold prediction, but I think they will this year because they're due. Like, if any year they're due to overperform like the Braves did last year. I remember last year the Braves, nobody was picking them to win the division. I said that they're overhyped. I said that they're overhyped, and they weren't even that much hyped last year. But I think the Padres are winning the division this year. Next bold prediction, I think a player on the Yankees, I think I did this prediction last year, but not named Giancarlo Stanton or Aaron Judge, will win the entire batting home run title, whatever, the most home runs in the league. I think Gary Sanchez, he needs to play well this year, and he knows that. I think his mindset's right this year. Last year, there were a lot of expectations going on. You had Aaron Judge and you had Giancarlo Stanton, and there's a lot of hype, and now he realizes I'm not as great as I thought I was, and he's going to put in a lot of work in the offseason. He's going to get a little more humble. And him and Michael and Andujar, either or somebody else will win the home run title, and the Yankees will beat their record from last season in home runs. I think of 263, if I'm right, or something like that. I think that they'll beat that again. No one on the Yankees is gonna bat over 300. Maybe Andujar, and I can see him as a MVP candidate next year because I think he's really gonna pop, especially with his defensive skills. This is the year. This is the year that they were gonna bring him up. So I'm not gonna pick him. My bold prediction is he's gonna win MVP, but he's also gonna be a top 3 in MVP voting. The antithesis, the finale. I think I already said finale. Anyway. So I'm going to predict the exact standings of the voting for the American League and the National League. Not only am I going to predict the winner, I'm going to predict the standings, the top vote getters, everything. So number 1, the winner of the American League MVP is going to be Mike Trout. Okay, I've said that. But the 2, because he's going to win the Triple Crown. But the 2 people behind him, Miguel Andujar and Carlos Correa. I think the Astros are going to need a hero this year. They're getting worse. Their starting pitching is starting to decline, so their hitting is going to have to start to ramp up. Carlos Correa, I think, is going to be a huge part in that. Number 3, and I've already mentioned Miguel Andujar and Mike Trout. I just wanted to mention Carlos Correa. for the National League, Paul Goldschmidt is going to win MVP. Okay, so the reason why I think he's going to win MVP, he's on a new team, new scenery. I'm buying the Cardinals like a cheap stock right now. I think that they're going to go to the World Series. You'll see my prediction video. I'm in love with this Cardinals offense. And plus, they always overperform. Last year, they're the team that always overperforms. Like the Patriots, I feel like they're almost like the Patriots when they have good players. It almost doesn't work out for them, to be honest. But I'm really buying the Cardinals this year. Number 2 is going to be Lorenzo Cain from the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't think it's going to go Christian Yelich. I'm really loving the Brewers, too. That division is going to be insane with the Cardinals and the Brewers just battling it out. It's going to be so fun to watch. And number 3, I think it's going to be Nolan Arenado for 3rd. He just signed that big contract, and he's going to want to, live up to it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your bold predictions in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.